Hey, Wolf. Thank you for the kind words. So, as far as like setup and all of that and the integration of Gab AI, let me just show you. So this is Gadget Code when you're not signed in, right? So when you first start it on your system and you open it in the browser, this is what you can expect. Now, for recording the videos, I'm running full screen. That's not required. I just do. And so we're going to sign in, log in, and this is your authenticated home screen. So from here, you can jump directly to any of your projects. You can also examine the current status of one of your drones. Let me talk to you about that real quick. We're going to open this one in the drone manager. So basically your drones, right, which you saw in the terminal, top left here, this is the drone. In fact, if I stop the drone and we go back and we refresh view, I have no drones. Oh no, sad face. So then if we go over here, I have a script for starting it. If we start the drone in this directory, then we come back to IDE, refresh, I have my drone back, and I can see that it is in home, Rob, workspaces, core-001. That is its workspace. It now owns that directory, keep out. Literally, that is its treehouse with the keep out sign on the door. You don't go there anymore. It's managed by your drone. It's available online. It's happy. It's healthy. You know, it's doing stuff. This is mock data for right now, but this will be live. And if it spawns processes, they do show up here and you can manage them from here. So we'll go into the Gadget Code project because I do use Gadget to work on Gadget, right? Like it literally has a mode for doing that with instructions that help it work through the metaphysical existence of being the robot working on the robot while both robots are awake. Anyway, it can do it, but you know, the instructions have to be pretty tight. From a just high level sort of management perspective, right? Like Gadget Code is intended to automate the tedium away from your day, okay? Like as completely as it can do that. So one of the things you can do is define skills on a project, all right? So for the Gadget Code project, we have an update change list, which is mainly a test for being able to run a skill within a session. And then we have tasks, which, you know, update change list. It runs the skill, okay? And it does that at 5 a.m. every day. So anyway, that's this. And if I wanted to edit any of that, I can do that. I can edit the update change list prompt, change which modes it's available in, etc. I can add skills, remove them, whatever I want to do. Same thing with tasks, right? You basically are giving a task a name. You choose your provider. So when you're asking about how I integrate Gab AI, we're going to get to that in a second, but basically you choose your provider. And then you choose the model that you want on that provider. You choose the mode that you want the prompt to run in. So this is a build mode prompt, and I want it on this schedule. And here's the prompt, enabled, save changes. I'm going to cancel because I don't know if I changed anything I don't want to. Anyway, when you're ready to actually get some work done, what you do is you select a drone to take into a chat session. Now we can either continue an existing session, right? These are sessions that I've been running while building Gadget, or we can start a new chat session, which is what I'm going to do with you now. So I'll open that up, and then when you're asking what is my integration with Gab AI like, it's pretty comprehensive actually. You know, from here, the most relevant point in the journey, right? You can fork off and just go get started with Gab AI, get your API token, come back, add Gab as a service provider to your gadget, and then poof, you'll be able to select Gab AI as a provider here. So that's what I'm going to do. And then you would select the model that you want to use, right? I've been messing around with Aria quite a bit, so let's take Aria out for a drive. I'm going to throw it into plan mode, okay? And we'll just create the session. Well, what happens there is that selected drone was locked to this chat session, and I was brought into the chat session ready to work. So at this point now I can go into user mode and I can open, you know, a file, and I can work on that file. I can save changes to the file, whatever. We're not going to do that. You can also go in agent mode, and now you can type a prompt. You can type big prompt, okay? But you can type a prompt and have your agent do something for you instead of doing it by hand. And that's modal. You can either be in user mode or agent mode. You cannot be doing those things at the same time, because that's the chances of you editing the same file as the agent at the same time, that would get nuts. I'm not saying we can't do that. That's a down the road thing, right? Like, you know, reconciling simultaneous edits and the rest is not an unsolvable problem. We could get there, but for right now, it's modal. You choose. You're either going to work on things yourself, and then you would dive into a directory, like, for example, get into the source directory of Gadget Code, open up a service, the chat session service. Maybe you've got something you want to do to a method by hand in here. It's Code Mirror, so it's a very capable code editor. Yes, you'll be able to select your theme. For right now, I am personally having a Borland Turbo C++ 3.0 for DOS Nostalgia Party, and I'm going to ask for a little forgiveness and leeway on that, all right? No. But basically, this is Gadget Code, and this is how it works. It's intended to be used by programmers, engineers, you know, people that practice the craft, and learners. There will be a mode that ships learn, right? So that's literally learn to code. For right now, you get your modes of plan, build, test, ship, dev. Dev is for working on Gadget itself, okay? The others are for working on your projects. All right, so we're going to exit out of that. We're going to stay in plan mode. We're going to use Aria just to see how Aria might answer the following. I'm just going to say, okay, so hello Gadget. We are recording a live demo video. Please introduce yourself, explain what you do, and then describe the project we're working on. After that, describe me personally and our teamwork in this project. Go. So it is now calling Gab AI, and this is the speed of response that you get when you're using that Aria model. That's why just earlier today, I was saying, don't sleep on Aria. It's got a nice context window. It's got a big enough brain. This model has been impressing me all day. I really have been having a very enjoyable experience with Aria today. But basically, right, how does this integrate? So Gab AI, when you go in for your API key, right, Gab AI permits the use of the OpenAI API to call their models, right? So programmatically, using your API key, your account, right? Like this has nothing to do with me. I'm not reselling Gab. I'm not any of that. You will have your own account with Gab that you will use. If you use a link from within the software, so real quick, let me go back and I'll show you what I'm talking about here. Select new chat session. If you click these, if you notice in the bottom left there, the URL has a ref and a little code. That's my affiliate code. So that will get you 250 credits, and I will also get 250 credits to Clank. So that is the integration of Gab AI, right? So we've got our drone selected. We can go back into that session, and I'll just go ahead and kind of read through a little bit about Gadget. So who I am and what I do. I am Gadget, a specialized AI-powered software agent designed to act as an integrated development partner. I don't just write code, I function as a member of your engineering team. My core responsibility is to bridge the gap between high-level planning and technical execution, at least in this mode, okay? I help manage the development lifecycle through a structured multi-mode system. Planning, building, testing, shipping. Not going to read all the details there. My goal is to keep the code base clean, document architectural decisions, and handle the heavy lifting of research and boilerplate tasks so that you can focus on building the product, right? what we are working on, Gadget Code, and I'll let you use pause to read through that. And then about Rob Colbert and our teamwork, I'll again let you use pause to read through that. But that's the level of awareness that Gadget has about what it's working on, who it's working with, etc. And it's because of some, what I don't mind saying, some pretty groundbreaking firsts, right? For one, it's all about the construction of the harness and the handcrafted goodness that goes into the prompts, as well as the machine review for eliminating confusion, improving clarity, all the rest of that. Like, it's teamwork, right? So it's me, it's the agent, we've gone through, we've built this. It knows this much about me because, for example, in settings, right, I'm able to spell it out for the agent completely. I'm the creator of Gadget Code. I am not a front-end programmer or UI UX designer. This is where I need the most pushback from you, advice, etc. If I am recommending UI UX stupidity that goes against best practices and standards, push back and help prevent bad software, right? But then my strength, right, more low-level systems engineer, you can lean on me for the architecture, stuff like that. Right, so you have that, and then also on a project, right? You can inject instructions into the system prompt. Yeah. So for right now, because I've just been doing some optimization on subagent execution and context clutter removal, I've been having the agents, all of them, if I'm doing anything in the project, if they elect to use a subagent, just go ahead and score it, right? And that becomes part of their output report because it's now baked into the system prompt, like it's kind of all they can think about. So yeah, cost, right? Gadget Code itself is free. I am not charging anything. I have a separate service, Gadget. Right, so there's Gadget Code, and then there's Gadget. Gadget is a, let me open up my other browser. Here we go. Sweet. And we'll go to Extension Manager. We'll turn Gadget on. And now let me get that out of the way. Refresh the page. And do you see the red G ball that appeared down here in the bottom, right? So I can click on that and now I can actually sign into Gadget, and this is the web commenting system. So basically I can start a conversation right here on this page with whoever else happens to be here right now. And there's some other stuff that you can do in there as well. I'm just trying to stay brief. The other thing is what I call the sidecar extension. I know it's a sidebar extension, but I'm more from motorcycle culture, and for me, the thought of having a robot in a sidecar riding along with me as I use the web is just, I don't know, I find it adorable. So it's my sidecar, Gadget, and this you would sign into, and it can literally help you do all the things in the browser. Literally all the things. It can fill out forms for you. It can, control the browser, go do research. It will implement a playlist of music you like and go play it in the browser. It does all the things, right? So, as you see here, it is connected, right? So, this is Gadget Ball, right? And that runs on the web page. And here's what's really cool. When you're on Gadget Code, if I log in, I'm not going to, if I log in, when you're on Gadget Code, okay, Gadget recognizes that and presents itself as a tool to Gadget Code. Now, Gadget Code can, through Gadget, entirely control your browser and also access all of your knowledge. And I'm not going to elaborate on that yet. Those are separate videos that will be coming next week. Gadget is an ecosystem of AI. It's not just Gadget Code. It's not just Gadget the extension. It's not just Gadget Ball. There's quite a bit to come here. I'm building, I'm going fast. The entire thing is agentic, and as much of it as possible will be made available as Apache 2.0 licensed open source. This extension is the only thing that isn't. This is literally like my business, okay? This is how I earn a living over here. It is intended to be the, more mainstream product that it's not just for engineers, you know what I mean? It's useful to engineers for doing research and, summarize the API documentation for the whatever, find me the, latest stable final build of whatever. That's what your gadget is for on the engineering side. But it's also, I'm homeschooling my daughter, and I need to know about this topic today, so that help me create like an educational curriculum. It can actually do that too. It also is connected to Gab AI. So this is a Gab-first AI ecosystem. It is compatible with others. There's nothing restricting you to just using Gab. The preference, though, as far as like where I test it, where I'm going to qualify it, what I'm going to care about, is just making sure that it works well with Gab AI for cloud service and for a local OLLAMA when using your local models, because it does that equally happily, right? So like if we go into Gadget Code, if I say new chat session, I can select my OLLAMA. Black box is a machine that runs over my shoulder if I turn my camera on. And now I can select a model that I have there. And I have many models installed on that OLLAMA, right? So for example, I can go to my, this is my go-to model right here, QN 3.5. I've specialized it with a 128K context window, and it's a 9 billion parameter model. Great for doing things like summarizing change lists and just chores, maintenance chores, things that you don't want to do. And you also don't want to burn your cloud credits on. Perfect little model for being able to do, the housekeeping and chores and stuff like that. So that's basically it, right? Like that's kind of a tour of at least the high points of what's here. There's really a lot of depth that I didn't even touch on in any of this. But I'll just summarize by saying that, the Gadget AI ecosystem is a Gab-first sort of technology, not experiment, but project that is intended to benefit this community first, while not necessarily even thinking about others. You're not commonly going to see me using like Anthropic models or OpenAI models. I tend to focus more on what is available in the open source and, freely available space, right? So within AI, there are definitely these different approaches. Yeah, you've got your frontier labs that for the most part now are tending to bottle things up and keep it to themselves, etc., whatever, be able to control the policy, be able to implement the censorship, whatever their goals are, right? Like they're their goals, I don't begrudge them. But at the same time, there is this whole other side of AI. That's where you'll find me out here trying to get the most out of like a local OLLAMA bolted to a cloud provider that at least has their head screwed on straight, and that would be Gab AI. So that's my focus. That's if the Bobs were to pop up and ask what would you say it is that you do around here, like that's pretty much what it is that I do around here. Cheers. Enjoy the scroll. Thanks again for the kind words.